The top 10 cities you must start wholesaling in 2025. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And we are here to tell you the top 10 markets for wholesaling real estate getting started in 2025. I have not revealed it on YouTube, my top 25 markets, but I'm going to reveal my top 10 markets today live because I'm expecting some big changes in 2026 for my top picks for the top markets. There's actually some cool, like niched out micro markets that are working really well for us too. But what we're going to be talking about today exactly is my top 10 wholesaling real estate markets for in-person, virtual, whatever out there. Now, I'll be honest with you. The best wholesaling markets are the ones that nobody talks about or mentions. I was talking to a wholesaling guy. He makes good money. I mean, multiple six figures. He's closer to seven figures than six figures. And he was telling me about some of these secret markets. He's like, Zach, let me tell you about some secret markets. I'm like, and he told me, I'm like, oh yeah. I said, I've been doing that market for 5 years, but like, I don't really talk about it. He's like, dude, it's amazing. And there's all these guys doing like these micro markets everywhere too. And they get very upset at me because when I make these rankings, I always expose them because I have a very, very analytical mind when it comes to really good wholesaling markets. And I'm pretty much an expert at picking out the top markets that nobody knows about and just kind of exposing it everywhere. And so everyone has the advantage. And so the reason what makes a good wholesaling market and what's going to be my rankings is a simple calculation. I've always talked about this calculation and it's just been my like true like light of what's a good area or not. But it's always a calculation of deals divided by wholesalers. Now you might be like, Zach, how in the world do you even think about this? Or how's that even a thing, right? But it's a pretty simple calculation. If I look at Port St. Lucie, for example, right? How many wholesaling deals are done in Port St. Lucie every single month, you think?
Not enough.
Not enough, but like how many do you think?
Well, I mean, they're on average, we teeter between 350 and 400 cash contracts. That's per the county records. So I would say it'd be under a third of that.
Yeah. So that's probably going to be.
But that, that's you're making. You got cash.
15, I say about 15 to 20 a month in Port St. Louis, and that's 100,000 people person city, right?
Yeah.
And so that's not 4%. And so if you look at that, which is kind of crazy if you look at us, like we basically take a very large market share of that every single, and just in a small little local market, right? Not that's not even 5% of what we make now on assignment fees. But if you look at it like that, okay, if there's, let's say 20 wholesale deals being done in this city, right? Very, very small city, right? 20,000, right? Sorry, 20 deals. And how many actual like wholesalers living here, like locally? I would say about 50. So if you were to look at, there's 20 real estate deals being done and only 50 wholesalers going after it. That's not a bad ratio. You know why? Because all you have to do is be top 10 and you'll get 2 or 3 deals a month. Just be like top 10% of the wholesalers in the area. And like I've said, and like I'm going to continue to keep saying forever, it has never been easier to succeed in wholesaling real estate than it is now. It's never been easier to become a top 10%, to be like upper echelon in wholesaling. It's never been easier. You know why?
Why?
Because nobody's wanting to work anymore. No one's willing to get their hands dirty. No one's willing to do the things that absolutely suck. And if you can do that for a year straight, and then you can start getting systems and employees and stuff like that, your life becomes a million times easier. And that's all you got to do. And so if we go to like Houston, Texas, for example, right, there's probably 500 wholesaling deals being done probably a month, but there are thousands and thousands of wholesalers. It's all a ratio. It is all a ratio. So it's about how many wholesalers are going after a market versus how many deals are being done. And one of the biggest secrets of finding out these little divisions, right? There's two good statistics, and maybe 3. Number one is kind of what I just do, like you kind of lick your finger and see where the wind's pointing. So like, are all the wholesalers talking about that they wholesale in this market or not, right? Like for example, Los Angeles has a massive population. There's not a ton of Los Angeles wholesalers, right?
Yeah.
Ontario, Riverside, California, though, insane amount. But you can also look at like actual statistics. Like I love looking at the cash sales. You too, right? You look at how many cash sales are being done in a market. But here's the secret. You look at cash sales divided by the population and you get a little ratio. So what areas have the highest cash sales divided by their population, right? And I actually haven't looked up the actual like statistics for the entire country because we do individual markets. But if I just use like, I mean, we just use our XLeads AI, right? So let me just pick a random market right here. So, okay, what markets have the most cash sales in proportion to population in USA? And we're just going to tell the XLeads AI bot because the XLeads has all the data on the back end, and I'm just going to publicly give it to everyone here. But all you need to do is just look at the statistics, right? So it's actually kind of crazy.
Or some of it makes sense.
Yeah. So if you look at here, let's see. Okay. So this one is the XLeads AI is telling me these are the top areas. Now, this is just cash sales in general. This is not in proportion to population, but it's telling me these are the most cash sales: Salisbury, Maryland, Syracuse, New York, Jacksonville, Nassau County, West Palm Beach, right? Now, again, these are just rich people, but Syracuse is actually really good too. Jacksonville is really good market too. Now, it's also looking at sources too, but you could say, gee, I'm going to feed it a couple data points here. And I can't publicly tell people about this one. But if you give it a couple data points here, you can go out here and look at some articles and do some AI scraping on it. And it's telling you Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Louisiana, Maine, Ohio. That's actually kind of crazy. And then specific cities, same ones pop up right here, which is kind of insane. And so you can do some division on there and just get some like straight up like stuff on there. But that's kind of how the statistics we always look at to figure out exactly if an area is good or bad. And then the last one is kind of just what I call the sniff test. Me and Rick have, I mean, we've wholesaled pretty much every single state now. A couple we don't do.
A few no.
But like we just kind of have the statistics. Like we do good here. And so it's probably pretty dang good. So without further ado, let's go out here and let's give my top 10 must wholesale cities in the United States for 2025. And honestly, the reason I made this is these are ones that I'm finding the best success and where I think beginners can have a bunch of success too.
But before you get into it, I want everybody to understand here, like when I started wholesaling, none of these lists were available.
No.
And the best list or the market you can do is the one you can service right away.
Yeah.
So if you're servicing a market that's not on this list or something, we don't want you to drop everything and run to that market. You see, the only reason I started in Port St. Lucie is because I was there. That's it. So I worked in South Florida and I worked my way all through the state. Why? Because I found my niche markets in there. But like, just get started in a market. Now, obviously, we don't want you to start in LA or like Manhattan or downtown Miami. But I want you to understand, like people, like the market you're going to have the most success in is the one that you believe in. And number two, the one you have the most consistent effort. This is not a magic pill for you. Oh, do this market and you're going to have instant success. Now, we share data to give you a cumulative effect of how wholesalers, the ones that they're pointing to. So guys, like I get it. If you're trying to pick a virtual market and you haven't picked one yet, this is a great source. But if you're already established in a market, you've cut your teeth, you haven't got a deal yet, don't just stop doing it because that's where the real work's paid off. It's going to take some time. So I'm just telling you, I never had these lists when I got started. The one you believe the most in and the one you put the most consistent effort in is going to yield you the best results. So please don't chase markets. If you're in a market, you've given it a year and you don't have anything, then this live stream is probably for you. But, you know, how did Rick get started? I don't know. I lived in South Florida. I started marketing in South Florida. I figured out, I found my niche markets and then I found virtual markets and that's how I did it. So guys, just understanding this is just a cumulative to give you a perspective. And it'll also help you do research on your markets with tools like XLead and stuff. Now, you now can get the data at your fingertips. So use the information wisely. It is not a cheat. You're still going to have to put in the hard work. And we want you to understand that. Do not get up and just jump ship because you think something's easier. That is the last resort you want to do it. So heed that advice going forward on the stream.
All right, let's break it all down. So first and foremost, what I would tell everyone right now is number 10 is going to be Louisville, Kentucky. One of my favorite wholesaling real estate markets. It used to be like always like a top 25 wholesaling market, but it got into top 10 this year because of one simple reason. Everybody said it was illegal to wholesale in Louisville. They said it was illegal. You straight to jail, go to prison. They lock the key behind you, and they torture you all day in prison. And then, yeah, the solitary confinement. It's the worst in the world, right? And it was kind of funny that like everyone's like, "Talk case is over," and I'm like, "Okay, well, let's just read the law." And you know, everyone said I was crazy, and then AI became a thing, and people started having AI read the law, and the AI was like, "No, you can wholesale. You're fine. I read the law, and I have passed the bar." It's actually true. The AI passes the bar really good. And so Louisville, Kentucky is one of the best markets to be wholesaling real estate in because it is really good at the beginning of 2025 because everyone said it was illegal in the beginning of 2025. And then unfortunately, people started just closing deals there and lawyers were like, no, you're good. And then it lost its oomph because the whole, oh, it's illegal. That kind of went away, unfortunately, because people started actually doing deals without a license there legally. It sucks. Number 9. Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's kind of our local market, right? And I've shown this map a lot, and I love everyone wholesale in Port St. Lucie, right? So Port St. Lucie has one thing going in the United States of America that no other city has at all. Okay, it is one of the best. It is one of the greatest wholesaling markets ever because of one very, very important specific thing. So let's go out here to a satellite map of Port St. Lucie and just show you something that Port St. Lucie has that no other market in the entire United States really has. Okay. So here is what Port St. Lucie in Florida is. So let's go out here and look at satellite view map. Okay. So here's a satellite view. Oh, wow. I'm good. Okay. So here's a satellite view of Port St. Lucie, Florida. All right. Now I might be like, okay, well, what's so important? Why? Okay, what makes Port St. Lucie different? Okay, let's go to Austin. Let's do San Antonio since we're going to San Antonio soon. Okay, let's look at San Antonio, Texas. Okay, San Antonio is nice. What is this? What is this? These are like buildings and like
a park,
apartments, parks, high schools. We got some houses here, a little Jehovah's Witness area,
Churches.
collision center, right? You know, it's kind of like, you know, it's a what do they call it? Like a city? Like this is what real cities look like.
Yeah.
They have parks and they have nice spread out houses everywhere, you know, and like, you know, that's just kind of what cities are. And then it kind of like goes out. It's nice suburbs. There's good land. There's industry everywhere, right? Let me look at exactly what another area looks like. So let's go say Destin, Florida, right? Destin, Florida is a cool place. You know, you got some little bit of houses, you got industry stuff, food stuff, right? Okay, that's just what regular houses kind of look like, right? Even if you do like Boca Raton, right? If you go out there, these are just nice, big, lush houses, community, but like golf, right? Simple, right?
Yep.
If you go to Port St. Lucie, Florida, okay, you are going to find, whoa, this looks a little different, right? Look at this. Those are all houses. There's not one car wash. There's not one gym. There's not one little park. It is literally house upon house upon house upon house upon house. These are all, there's nothing here but houses.
Yep.
Okay, a little power plant, whatever. That's where the poop goes. But they got a little Wawa, okay? But it's house upon house upon house upon house. And there are 200,000 houses. And it's just literally from this line, this is the county line, right? Yep. You can tell this is the county line. You know what Port St. Lucie does? They hear you, can we build a house? They say, approved. That's all they do. This is the county line.
You know, when I started wholesaling in Port St. Lucie, this is long before smartphones and even those monstrosity GPSs used to plug in your car. I had to take an atlas out, and when you go in these streets, it's like a rat maze trying to figure out how to get in and out, because like there was no easy way.
They pack
them in. It's so in and out, and then like, listen, this was driving for dollars, like on.
This is the greatest driving for dollars area ever. Like,
it is, and that's how I started out doing it.
You could spend an hour driving for dollars in just one little zip code.
Yeah,
and then you could drive for dollars. This is why driving for dollars is so good. It's just I mean, everywhere you go is a house. There's like, you know what I mean?
So it was originally designed as a retirement community by GDC, and then they were $10,000 to $25,000 houses. And then as things progressed, mostly in the 90s, that's when these builders came and just everyone was buying a lot of land for $1,000 to $3,000. They build a house for 50 to 60 grand, and everyone goes, just go to Port St. Lucie because it's like living in Costa Rica. It's cheap, and this is. And so they have a lot of problems, guys, right now. The sewage system can't handle it. There's very little streets. And did you know that St. Lucie County has the highest millage in the entire state of Florida? That's right. It has the highest tax rate because there's just no infrastructure to support all these houses. So they packed it in because people were taking advantage of it. But the city's really hurting. But it is a great.
Nobody cares. Okay, we only care about wholesaling. Literally, it is such a small area, and these are all houses. And these are all houses below 400 grand, and there are a ton of cash buyers. I mean, it's house upon house upon house upon house upon house. There's no other area so compact in of just houses. And here's my favorite part about it.
What?
Every 3 years, a hurricane hits the area, so the houses just get uglier and uglier and uglier. Like, there's always roof issues because a hurricane's always going to hit it. And this is why Port St. Lucie is one of the best areas. And you probably have never heard of Port St. Lucie before. There's over 200,000 people in this little compact area. It's bigger than a lot of small areas.
It's packed.
It's packed. And so there's a stupid amount of buyers and not enough wholesalers in this area. And you could just get lost trying for dollars there. And so I'm just letting everybody know this is like money central right here. And nobody talks about it. Me and Rick are the only ones who talk about the city ever. And you probably never heard of it. But there's not one city in the United States that's packed so disgusting. Like literally, they have one highway. They have the turnpike, 95, and then this little highway. And then they have one little highway that goes here, and they have Crosstown. They have 4 streets. That's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. The rest is only houses. So just letting you know, like look at this Martin County Jensen Beach area right here. See how spread out it is. They got parks and all that shit. No. It's just house upon house. And all of these properties they have nice ARVs too. So you can make 20, 30, 40 grand. Mm-hmm. Just telling everyone. Insanity. And so if you want to know how I kind of got a really good start, those there. On top of that too, I will let everybody know this. Okay. I am a buyer in that area. I just love buying these houses because it is absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. So easy to sell. You're going to make massive deals. I mean, the amount of 6-figure wholesale deals I've done in this area have been insane. And honestly, I'm kind of done just keeping it like a secret. I just let everyone tell you. Great area.
Anyways.
Great area. And if you're a New Yorker, like if you're from New York, like the Bronx, all right, from Brooklyn, go to that area because everyone's got a New York accent there. So you're just going to sound like a local Port St. Lucie guy.
A lot of good pizza shops, though.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just telling you, if you sound like you're from New York, it's even bonus points there. It's the only city in the United States where you get bonus points for having a thick New York accent. Funny. Crazy.
Funny.
Number 8, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is the actual opposite of Port St. Lucie. So you want to go in the packed out areas, right? In Detroit, you want to avoid the packed out areas, actually. So if you go to Detroit right here, so you see Detroit's really weird. They have the nice, pretty Canadian side right here. So you know in Detroit, when you go south, you go to Canada? Kind of hilarious.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's called Windsor. This is like the nice, preppy area of Ontario, Canada, right? Mm-hmm. Very nice, very, very, very nice area, right? And then right when you hit Detroit,
you're
in downtown
south and you wind up in Canada?
Yeah. That's Windsor, Canada. But like, look at this. This is Detroit. This is the absolute worst areas to be in. Like, right, you do not want to be wholesaling in the city of Detroit.
We reject a lot of deals there.
Okay, you do not want to be wholesaling in these areas. These are the absolute worst areas to be wholesaling. But guess what? Because these houses are all worth 50 grand, 50, 60 grand. You do not want to be living in Eminem's 8 Mile, okay? All right, you do not try to be the Slim Shady wholesaler. But I will tell you this. The farther you go away, avoid Dearborn, but the further you go away, you're going to be in this area, and you're going to be in this little outskirts of Wayne County right here. So anything from Southgate to Ypsilanti, and then you just do a little circle around here, okay, is all money, because these houses are worth about 200, and there's no crime in those areas. A lot of crime here. When you go out, there's no crime. So, for example, Livonia, Michigan, packed houses, low crime rate, and the houses are like 150, 200. That is money. So when I talk about Detroit, I don't talk about the city of Detroit. I'm talking about avoid the city of Detroit. Just do the outskirts in the same county. That is where the buyers want to buy. And as a guy that flips houses too, it is really upsetting when you put a lot of money in a house that keeps getting broke into because they try to make it a trap house. Okay? No joke. All right? And so you want to go to areas that have low crime, low prices with high cash buyer activity. Livonia is absolutely insanity for that, right? Warren, Sterling Heights is actually pretty good too. Royal Oak is all right too. Dearborn's, I'm not really big on Dearborn. But these areas are absolutely really, really good.
Where's Kalamazoo?
Kalamazoo's over here.
I just love the name.
Kalamazoo's right here.
It's where all the financial institutions.
It's okay. But I'm telling you right now that like this whole area, anything west of Detroit, going all the way up to like, I'm not big on Pontiac, but like right here, Ypsilanti is also a really good market too. So just like nice areas, right? And Ypsilanti is actually Eastern Michigan University's here, but like good areas, great for wholesaling, a ton of great buyers wanting to buy there, right? So by far, avoid Detroit. Okay. Just don't do Detroit, man. You know what? I'm just trying to help everybody. Don't be upset. Don't be upset at all. But yes, Wayne County, just kind of the outskirts. And so exactly what Kilo Alpha Tango says. I think it's Cat, but I'm focused on Oakland County, McCollum, and Wayne. I think so. Some military thing. I don't know.
Kill sign or
I don't know. Whatever. He's crushing it though. But I'm telling you, those are the best areas to do. Now, number 7, Reading, PA. Cannot stress this enough. And I've been a broken record on this for a very long time. But Eastern Pennsylvania, like west of Philly, like east of Middle Pennsylvania, is absolute golden. Golden. No, and the reason why these areas work so well, again, I call it the TikTok teenage factor. But let's play this game, right? Let's say you're on TikTok right now and you're a teenager. You're 18 years old. What's the average makeup of a wholesaler who's new in this business came from TikTok? They're 18 and they're a young male probably, and they want to make a better life for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Should we be upset at those people? No.
Yeah.
I was 18. I did the same thing. But let me tell you what they do though. Teenagers on TikTok that try to get into wholesaling, they do 2 things. First, they just want to make 20 grand and then get out of the business. Just fine. Whatever. That's their prerogative. Let them do it. But also what they do, which is kind of crazy to me, is they think about what market should they wholesale because they're doing virtual most likely. If you ask a 17-year-old, name real estate markets in the United States, they can only name 32 markets. Right?
Okay.
Because there's 32 NFL teams. And probably add 5 with the NBA. 17-year-olds know nothing about geography. I promise you this. They knew absolute zero about geography except for where they live and where sports teams are. That is it. So they'll name off the 32 teams in the NFL, and they'll probably name off Seattle and Oklahoma City. Pretty much it. And maybe where their aunt lives. Their aunt lives in Glendale, Arizona. So that's pretty much it. Okay. I am almost promising you unless someone's got family there, they don't know what Reading, PA is. Do you know Berks County, Pennsylvania has 363,000 people in it? That's insanity.
It's a lot.
Nobody knows that though. And so that is an amazing area. And so the reason is when you do Reading, PA, you avoid all those 18-year-olds that go and call the seller and overprice the deal because they don't even know what Reading, PA is. They have zero chance. They have zero clue at all. You know why? Because it's on a sports team. They don't know about it. So this is where you can go out here and start having success. And so where's Reading, PA? Again, Reading, PA. Go here to Pennsylvania, right? Avoid Scranton. Scranton's actually not a good area. But if you go to the Poconos area, south of it, it's actually pretty good. But if you go down here, Allentown, Lancaster, Lebanon, right here, Reading. So here's Reading, PA. It's a good little area. Trust me, it's a good little area called Berks County. Some good areas around it, right? But like right in this little area right here, Pottstown to Reading, this is where the money's at right here. I'd also include Allentown, Easton, PA, and then Stroudsburg is a good area too. But like this little like area right here, that's where the good of wholesaling is. Like that's where the money's at. So I highly, highly encourage any wholesaler that is looking in PA, or if you're near that area, that's where I'd be wholesaling. Number 6, Gastonia, North Carolina. I cannot tell you how many success stories I've had out of Gastonia, North Carolina. Outside of me, Gastonia, North Carolina is one of the best wholesaling markets out there. Now, everyone's saying, oh, I heard wholesaling is illegal in North Carolina. And here's my favorite thing about North Carolina. Okay. Everyone says that, it's illegal to wholesale in North Carolina now because of these laws. I'm like, okay, well, how old were you when you got your law degree? How old were you when you got your law degree?
When I got mine,
you don't have one.
I don't have one. I'm still waiting.
Me neither. And so let me tell you the best advice I could tell anyone to do. You should leave the law advice to the lawyers. And what's my favorite thing about North Carolina? It's an attorney state. It's an attorney state. So guess what that means? We use attorneys in North Carolina, and the attorneys have told me that it's legal to wholesale in North Carolina. And so therefore I wholesale in North Carolina. I mean, that's it, right? It's hilarious to me. And so all my closing attorneys, yeah, they think wholesaling is good. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. Of course, they tell you to do things the right way. My favorite was that everyone said Tennessee was illegal to wholesale.
That's the easiest.
That was the easiest one. I'm like, well, Tennessee's a attorney state. And all the attorneys are like, no, you're good. Just have this disclosure. You're good to go. But sir, I'm not licensed. It doesn't matter. Just have the disclosure. You're good to go. I'm your lawyer. But this guy who's not a lawyer told me. What? Johnny Boy 62 on the internet told you that? Like, actual lawyers telling you. So, again, everyone wants to play lawyer on YouTube. All my lawyers in North Carolina told me we're good. All my lawyers in South Carolina, they said you're good. You just got to do this, and that. But, like, we'll get into South Carolina too. But, like, just talk to your lawyers and make sure you do everything legally. Again, you can clip farm me here. You should follow the law when it comes to real estate, when you transact with real estate. Just talk to a lawyer and see what you can or can't do. Laws are subject to change, but like, it's the truth, right?
I agree. I just get rid of the drama. And
here's the thing, I'll tell you this. No lawyer will tell you that you should rob a bank. Yeah, it's okay to go rob a bank, right? No lawyer's ever going to tell you that, right?
No.
But my lawyers say I can wholesale. Checkmate. Just telling you, right? If you ask a lawyer, is it legal for me to go out here and rob a liquor store? They're going to say no. That's not lawful. Is it lawful for me to wholesale? Yeah, just make sure you do this. So everyone's acting like wholesaling is a crime. It's hilarious to me. When all the lawyers say no, you're good to go. But yeah, Gastonia is a really good market. The reason why Gastonia is such a good wholesaling market is, let's go down here to Gastonia. So Gastonia is by Charlotte, right? And so everyone's to wholesale in Charlotte, right? Everyone, they go crazy here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows if you just go west, you're right here in Gastonia, which is still a decently big market. Ton of buyers, a ton of cash sales, and a ton of wholesaling deals. But here's the thing. All the Charlotte people are like, we're not from Gastonia. We're so much better than you. When there's a ton of deals in Gastonia. Literally right there. But nobody knows about this area. It's got an insane population, over 100,000 people. And so the thing I told you about the ratios of wholesalers for deals, there's always a ton of deals in Gastonia. There's actually more deals in Charlotte than there is in Gastonia. So if I could show you how this works, let's use Charlotte and Gastonia for a visual example. Okay. It's the way I like to kind of, here's how my crazy brain looks at wholesaling. And this is why I've always had a lot of success in this business, is because just the way I think is kind of weird, but it benefits you. I promise you. So if you go here and we look at both of these markets, okay? So if I can go kind of show you. So let's do G for Gastonia, C for Charlotte. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say in Gastonia, there are 30 wholesale deals. So let's do WD for wholesale deals. Okay. And in Charlotte, there's over 300. Now let's do 100. So automatically you would think, oh my gosh, Charlotte's a way better market, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's just do wholesalers, okay? You know, these little wholesalers, right? These little wholesalers everywhere trying to call the same list and sellers in virtual, right? Right? Okay, let's do the quick math. There are probably 2,000 people in Charlotte right now trying to get wholesalers cold calling the same dang lists. And let's say there's only 100 in Gastonia. So let's do just a quick division, okay? So if you do the math, okay, 100 divided by 2,000, that's a ratio of there are 0.05 deals per wholesaler, right? And in Gastonia, there is let's do the math here. 0.3. 0.3. Now you might be like, well, Zach, are you like, what are you smoking? What is wrong with you? What are you trying to show here? What I'm trying to emphasize here is if you do the math here, right? That means if you pass college math, which I did, shout out to UF, they let anyone graduate apparently there. But Gastonia is 6 times better of a market. You have a 6 times better chance of getting a wholesale deal in Gastonia than Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, hopefully this kind of opens your mind of why I'm talking about going in a right market, because nobody as of this video, I have not seen one person be able to visually show what makes a market better or not. Nobody's ever really tried to show why. They just say, oh, it's a good market. No, like the actual math pretty much shows that's about you have a 6 times better chance of getting a deal in this market than that market. So when people tell me it's all about the cold calls you make, you would have to work 6 times harder in Charlotte than you have to do in Gastonia to get a wholesale deal, because there's just less competition. This is why some of these niche markets that nobody's in, oh, the Charlotte Hornets, I know that. Was it LaMelo? I love LaMelo, right? So y'all go to Charlotte because y'all love the Charlotte Hornets, even though they don't win anything. But that's why Gastonia is going to win. Not because there's more deals. There's just a better ratio of deals to wholesalers, which means if you call, let's say, a probate list, good chance there's only maybe 1 or 2 guys doing that versus 60 on the Charlotte list, right?
Exactly. I mean,
it's simple math. That's why Port St. Lucie is better than Miami, right? Miami probably has more wholesalable deals. There's way less wholesalers here than in Miami. It's just a better ratio. So this is how you look at wholesaling. This is how you look at deals. I mean, this is just how you win in this business. Nobody else can really share that because it's a big hubbub secret. No one wants to talk about. And you guys might be like, oh my gosh, like if you're like, let's say like you're only a month or 2 in this business, you've probably never heard of any of these markets ever. Ever. Because these have what I found the best ratios. So again, this isn't like micro markets. Like this isn't like I'm sharing you like my super secret micro markets. Like these are like kind of still well known for some like high level wholesalers. But you got to remember, I had to spend a stupid amount of money in Charlotte and all the counties around to figure out that, wow, you know, we have found that for every $1,000 we spend in this area, I get the best ROI in Gastonia, not Charlotte. That's how we come up with these numbers, because we do all the math. Then we have over 47,000 people on freeholding.com who report to us every single month about their success and not their success. And then I take all that data, we figure it out from there. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of success stories of probably tens of thousands of success stories of like actual people with checks, right? But looking at all of the tens of thousands of success stories we have in our 6-figure community, we have over 1 million followers if you combine all of our stuff together, right? I get all that data for the past 6 years, 7 years on YouTube, and I just go back here and say, okay, it's what working for me, it's what working for the community, and we find these secret markets. I mean, there's not one little untapped market here, right? So it's insanity. Number 5, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Coal World. You know what Coal World is?
I have no idea.
Do you know who J. Cole is?
Dude,
love J. Cole. J. Cole's awesome. J. Cole's almost 40 years old.
Who's J. Cole?
He's a rapper. But he's not like one of those like gangster rappers. He's like lyrical guy. But okay, we love J. Cole. J. Cole, where he says he's from, is from Coal World, which is Fayetteville, North Carolina. He says he's from the Ville.
Why do so many rappers wind up in North Carolina?
He's not many North Carolina rappers.
Maybe they just wear NC gear.
Yeah, I mean, J. Cole's the only one I know in North Carolina. Oh, wait, no, Da Baby. That's a great name. I'm going to get started about Da Baby.
It's not Easy.
But no, Easy no. Okay, so Fayetteville, you might not know this about Fayetteville, but Fayetteville is insanely massive because it has one of the largest military bases in the United States. Look at this. These are all just houses right here. Crazy. And this is a good area. You know why? You know why I love Fayetteville so much?
Why?
It's because when Fayetteville is like, I don't know, this is weird, but like Fayetteville is like almost recession proof, this market, because all these people are working at the military base. And let me tell you something about the great United States of America. All right. When there's a recession, we do not stop dropping billions of dollars in the military. That is the last thing we do. Okay. And it basically means, all right, this is very important. This basically means that if the recession happens, the people on base still get money and they still spend it in the local economy.
Yeah.
Which is good. So if I had a pizza shop in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right by a military base, most likely I'm not going to have a big problem if, let's say, there's a 2008 situation again, because the people on base are still getting their salary. That does not ever stop. All right. And so that's why Fayetteville is really cool, because they didn't have insane drops during the last recession and it's got a massive population. So, you know, when wholesaling gets, that's why but that makes it a very safe area, because guess what that pizza guy has? The workers, they have to rent out a home and their incomes don't really get affected. So if I'm a landlord, it's pretty good. And so you just have to make a bet. Is the U.S. military going to get bigger or smaller in the next 50 years? Right? I mean, math clearly shows it's only going to get bigger, right?
Yep.
So Fayetteville is a pretty safe bet for rental properties, right? So it is one of the hands down best creative finance areas. It's one of the best wholesaling areas. And there used to be 2 YouTubers back in 2019. They got started when I got started. They were twice as big as me when I got started. And I started like talking to them a lot. And they just fell off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they're still alive. I hope they're still alive. But they were in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And they're like, Zach, you're a YouTuber just like me, even though they're way bigger than me, right? This was like 2018. And it was so funny that like, they're like, Zach, we're making so much money in Fayetteville. And I'm like, really? And they're like, all we do is subject twos and we just wholesale them. I'm like, what? This was 19-year-old Zach. I'm like, what? Because you never wholesaled subject twos. You did them, but you never wholesaled them really.
I just kept them.
Right. Because and then so I'm like, what is this? And they were just, hey, like, let's go on a podcast. And they were just like telling me about, I'm like, this is so cool. Then I started saying, yeah, this is kind of stupid wholesaling subject twos because I don't want to make $2,000. But I kept Fayetteville. So shout out to those guys. I don't know if they're still here anymore. But they were cool. They were cool guys. I gotta get their names. I gotta go find their names. But they taught me about Fayetteville, North Carolina, and it's just absolute insane market. One of my favorite ones out there. So Coal World, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Nobody really knows about that market. Very, very underrated, very, very slept on. I've been talking about Fayetteville, North Carolina since I was 19 years old. That was 6 years ago. Jeez, I'm getting old. But yeah, that's bad. But yeah, that's how long I've been doing Fayetteville for. And just like a year ago, all these other wholesaling guys would be like, guys, I have a secret. Wholesale Mentory. That's who it was. I forgot the name. Oh my gosh. Wholesale Mentory. Lord.
You looked them up in a while?
No.
I got a feeling you're about to do it.
Mentory. I haven't seen them in forever. Oh, wow. Oh boy, what is this guy talking about? Are they still a thing? Oh, Homeboy's still going. He's trying for dollars. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. Homeboy didn't post for a year, and he posted. Homeboy didn't post for a year, and then he just came out of the woodwork 16 weeks ago, just still talking about just driving for dollars. I love this guy. All he does is drive for dollars. Oh my gosh. He's got appointments. He's doing deals.
Hey.
I like this guy. He never stopped the hustle. But he was Marshall. I remember Marshall. That guy's hilarious. But yeah, Wholesale Mentory hasn't posted in 4 or 5 years. That guy really good at doing, like, he's like legit. I kept telling you, man, he had to keep doing videos. He's a good guy. Oh my gosh. Rico and Marshall, man. Oh my gosh. Okay. Good area though for wholesaling. One of my favorite areas out there. So keep it up. That's a good area. Okay. So the next market that I'm going to tell you that's really, really good right now is Brevard County, Florida. Now, the reason why I tell you about Brevard County was the people that built Port St. Lucie in the early 2000s, they spent 10 years doing the same thing in an area called Palm Bay, Florida. Okay? And so they spent 10 years building out Palm Bay, Florida, which was in Brevard County. You know why? Because they saw so Brevard County, you might not even know what that is. That's where they shoot all the rocket ships. Okay. So when I drive at night and I just see just an insane orange light just going 3,000 miles an hour, that's just Elon's little ship going. It's like every other it's pretty cool. But the thing about it is that's where they launch all the spaceships. And so this company, I forgot who the builder was who did all that.
GDC was the original.
And so they're like, okay, well, we're just going to build houses on top of houses for all these engineers. Because space is just only going to get bigger in this area, right? It's never going to stop. They're never going to stop the space shuttle program. That's what they said. And apparently after the moon, no one cared. But they built all these houses in the 70s and 80s, just like Port St. Lucie. And then they said, okay, well, the space age is kind of gone. So they just went to Port St. Lucie and they just tried to build the same thing. And they went even crazier. Port St. Lucie was like their crazy masterpiece of bad. But yeah, so Brevard County is where they originally did it. And they have a population over 300,000 there too. And nobody goes there at all.
Like, yeah, that was a long time my go-to market. It still is, but the population, I think like Brevard County, the population
300.
No, it's higher than that.
No, it's gotta be higher.
Yeah, look it up. It's like Port St. Lucie, in my like multiplied 2 or 3 times.
670,000.
It's crazy.
Whoa!
And when I started in there, it was under 300,000. Just to show you the growth.
Wow.
What I loved about it, if you can ever find markets that piggyback on like an original market you do, and it's just a slight different pricing, and then why it got so mainstream too was the failure of the space program. I mean, it was in turmoil for about 12 years. Like they were giving houses away. There was land everywhere. And so when people filled up PSL, they moved up, and then everybody goes, hey, you go to PSL, go over to Brevard, Palm Bay. That's Melbourne, all those areas. It is huge. So when you do a satellite shot, if you get a chance, you'll see the same thing, just a much broader scope. And just the thing is, towns like that, Port St. Lucie, Palm Bay, Melbourne, they're so dense in housing.
So here's Palm Bay.
Yeah, look at that.
So you kind of see it looks just like Port St. Lucie. It's just house. Whoa. They have a China moon. and they have a shopping center, and that's all house upon house.
Same thing.
It's not as bad as Port St. Lucie, but like
it's more stretched.
It's very stretched. And so this is kind of where they did that disgusting, like just house upon house. Do not build if you're watching this and you want to build a city one day, do not just build a city of just houses and you forget to put like.
And you sell out because you create a lot of
problems. But,
there's no sidewalks in any of these.
No sidewalks anywhere.
No
sidewalks.
Stuff.
But basically, I can tell you there's not a lot of homeless people there because they just can't walk. There's no streets to walk.
Yeah.
It's all private property. But I'm telling you guys, like this is another good. This is Palm Bay, Florida.
You got new and old mixed in there.
But the cool part is any of Melbourne, Florida. These are all houses from the 40s, though, from kind of the 60s space race type stuff. They have Melbourne Beach, which is nice.
My second cheapest house ever bought was in Melbourne.
And you just got nice areas. Just you get to a Vieira, and then don't do anything north of Vieira. Don't wholesale up here. Bad area, bad deal. So they actually started Port St. John, by the way.
Rockledge, Titusville.
So you know why? So they started the first one they did is called Port St. John.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're like, hey, we got to make another city. What should we call it? Port St. Lucie.
Yeah.
And so that's how they came out. They're just geniuses. But basically, anything north of Merritt Island, I wouldn't do. But I'm just telling everyone right now. Remember that house? Okay, me and Rick once. There was once a deal in Merritt Island, Florida. I will never forget it. Right in Brevard County. I remember I told you about this deal. It was when we were doing Facebook ads, and Facebook ads just had the weirdest leads.
They're really weird.
I said, hey, Dad, there's this house. It's 7 bedrooms. It's on the water.
Yeah.
It's like 6,000 square feet. And the guy used to be a tight end for the University of Miami. And he wants to sell it for cash. And it seems like a really good deal. Like the house should be worth $2 million. He wants to sell it for like 600. I'm like, I think you should probably come check this out.
Yeah, I went up and looked at it.
And he went with me. And that thing was something straight out of a horror movie.
I was out of a horror movie. I remember it had the biggest mango tree to date I've ever seen.
So it had a mango tree.
And it had to be what, 50, 60 feet high?
It was 60 feet high, and it kept just pelting on the roof.
It was destroying the roof, yeah.
And we went there, and this guy had, no joke, he played for the University of Miami, but he said, yeah, I played in the 70s before we were good. Yeah. I said, oh boy. But basically, he showed me the whole area, and it was nice land. But the house was like 80% of the value was in the land, not in the house.
Yeah.
It was the most disgusting 6,000 square feet house I've ever seen. But no joke. I don't know if I should even say this. He had a theater room.
Yeah, that was scary.
And he put 4 couches, stadium style.
Yeah.
And there was like dolls everywhere. And he says, yeah, my son and his daughter and all their friends, we'd all just pack in here and watch movies. I'm like, it just weirded me out. I don't know. It was
I mean, there was like 500 mangoes on the ground rotting and all the animals were eating them. I was just like, do you guys know anything? By the way, I love mangoes, but like it's mango trees, man. Once you plant them, they turn into monsters. Like no fertilizing, no water. I didn't know they could get that tall. I know they got big, but that thing had to be 20, 30 years old.
You want us to hang out there? I was just like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm out.
This guy was just like,
that little house down by the water.
He had a little house by the water. It's just too good to be. And it was like, oh man, this is weird.
I don't know. And it didn't work out, but the thing is, it's just a very interesting place. So like Brevard, it's got the numbers, like it's phenomenal numbers. And actually that was what I first coined my first like virtual market other than Ohio.
Yeah. We're doing that virtually. Yeah.
And sometimes, guys, you do some of the outskirts areas, like 100, 150 miles out where you are, and you can find some like great deals. But you need population, you need the number of houses, and you need them to be at or below the average median price. So this one for sure fits the bill, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. And remember, the more people live there, the more turnover. Trust me, there's a lot of rental houses in there, and there's a lot of tenants that tear up houses, and it's just phenomenal. Oh, dude, I love those things.
I know. So let me out Rick really quick. Do you know at night, Rick at night when there's like a UFC fight or something, like I went to your home theater because FYI, Rick has a home theater. That's just how rich he is. Just flexing it. He was in his home theater watching the Kamzat fight. I can't even say his name.
That wasn't even a fight.
It wasn't even a fight.
That was a man domination.
Every single night, Rick will go out in the fridge and take a mango, a fresh mango.
Dude, man.
He'll spend 20 minutes cutting it out perfectly.
Cut it like
and
a
then
fish.
just eat mangoes all night.
So good.
No joke. Rick, all he does is love to eat mangoes.
It's better than the crap you put in your mouth.
Like, no, it's good. It's good. It's just hilarious. So every time
it's like my new obsession. I didn't really eat mangoes till like 3 or 4 months ago.
Like you're coming to my place for the hurricanes.
It's so good. And then there's different types of
oh yeah, I know you know this.
There's different types. There's a honey and there's crossbreed. I have friends down in the Keys that like specially make them. And this is really cool fruit. But like I'm like an expert on touching a mango to tell you if it's gonna be right.
I know. I remember.
I always tell my wife, I go, that thing's hard as a rock. Why would
I remember I was at the grocery store and I was getting something like you called me like, I'm out of mangoes. Can you drive by my house and drop some off?
Like, I like mango, dude. Let me tell you what, it's got the perfect amount of
but
sugar.
Like I'll buy you a bunch of mangoes and you're like, I don't know.
They're a pain in the ass to clean though. But anybody got any tips out there? I'm open to it.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, Brevard, like the population there. It's spectacular. It's like it's really, and it's still expanding north, still expanding west. In fact, I used to own a bunch of land up there because I could buy them. Like people constantly almost try to just take the lot next door. How much? Just take it. And so the average lot was between 1,000 and 5,000. But the problem is a lot of people had to sit on them 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And so if you were wholesaling land, oh my God, Brevard was one of the greatest opportunities I've ever seen in my lifetime. I was just like, how much can you buy?
There's a bunch of builders out there that they love wholesalers and they're so funny. They're like bounties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's kind of the old West. That you know how like he had this guy, he had a bounty for 30,000 on his head, and all you gotta do is just find it. These builders still to this day in Florida do this. That's why I got really good on land in Florida. But they will literally do this. They're like, hey, if you could find a 1/4 acre lot that has that I can build on with water, no septic,
and a mango tree.
And no, I said I'll give you 50 grand. I'll give you 50 grand for every one you find.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to the seller. So I was like, I want to sell for 20. I'm like, you 15? Okay, fine. Lock it up. He said, oh, done. Perfect. 35 grand, 35 grand, 35. And it's just disgusting. And so that's why land's really hot right now. I just had lunch with a couple people. Very, very young. By the way, I'm talking to all these kids doing land. It's absolutely insane. Again, I'm not going to reveal who they are because I'm probably might do a podcast with them. But they're making a lot of money doing land. And I'm like, you're like the 4th kid this year to prove 6 figures a month of just land. Kind of crazy. Like there's something. Oh, and by the way, yesterday on the X-Plane call, do you remember Robin? She's on the Zooms on the X-Plane weekly calls. She, her son hopped on. He's done 23 land deals.
Yeah,
he's like 19. I'm like, you're the 5th guy, and like all these kids under 22 are making. They don't want to deal with money doing land. I'm like,
yeah, it's a little bit less drama. It's
crazy.
I think you should do a combo of both. But
I love land too.
I ignored land when I started. I literally skipped it. I can't make money there, and it was just stupid thinking. So, guys, a transaction's a transaction. Somebody wants to sell. For the most part, real estate only gets more valuable over time. The idea is us wholesalers, we don't want to hold it. We want to make the money on it today. So why wouldn't land be any different? You just got to find the right spots where there's demand. Because if you want a plethora of leads, go over to the Dakotas. Everybody and their mother's selling the land. But the problem is it's a real challenge to find buyers. And I talk to people all the time in the groups that go, this guy's got this piece of land. I don't know if I want to do it. I go, why don't you see if you can find a buyer? Just see what the buyers will pay for it and negotiate it backwards. And that's the huge advantage of doing land, guys. It's kind of a cheat code because people are less attached to the land. It really doesn't require mortgages. There's really no inspections, and you can wholesale to anyone. Listen, that's why it's so attractive with the younger group, because they can do speed and housing. Let's get it. There is drama involved in it. Like we all understand it, but do a combination of both. You won't regret it. One of my biggest regrets was not doing land. I could have done land only in my first 10 years. I would have made plenty of money, but I like the challenge of doing the entire real estate with it. So
I would say you should do land and regular just together, but you probably have to pull them separately. Okay. Number 3.
Key is if they're motivated. If they're motivated, you can put a deal together with anybody. If they're not motivated, you're usually wasting your time.
You need to have land, but the thing is, you need to have buyers there first for you to do anything.
Exactly.
Number 3, Oklahoma City. Guys, I just interviewed 2 kids. They're making $60,000 a month. They made $500,000 their first year in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And they're high school they're college D1 wrestlers. And the first thing I asked them was, "You made $500,000 your first year?" They're like, "Yeah." And I said, "But I was told that you go straight to jail. Are you calling me from a jail cell? Don't look like a jail cell to me." They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "It's legal." Like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and I'm just joking, but it's just like everyone has told you. And when I got started wholesaling, and then right in 2020, they came out with a law saying that you just can't list you can't publicly market your properties, which means just don't post it on Zillow, basically. That's my interpretation. And everyone made a whole thing about this, okay? They made a whole massive hoopla about this. Oklahoma's illegal. It is done. It is really bad, okay? They take the key, they lock it, they throw it away, and they don't give you any food. And it's the worst area in the world to wholesale because straight to jail, straight to prison. And it was just so funny that like everyone went so hard in the paint about how wholesaling is just so illegal in Oklahoma. And me and Rick were the only ones with the balls to basically say, okay, well, let me just talk to a lawyer. Title company says we're all good. Okay, I'm just starting making a ton of money here. Like this has just been what I've always been doing. And I just talk to real lawyers and title companies and they just tell me. But the craziest part about it is completely legal to wholesale in Oklahoma without a license. But everyone, and I'm telling you, everyone says it's illegal. And it's just hilarious to me because you just actually ask a lawyer title company, say, no, it's legal. What are you talking about? Is it somebody who doesn't live in Oklahoma who's not a lawyer telling you that it's illegal to wholesale here? And you're going to go. And so I'm telling you, wholesalers just hear from other people. I heard Oklahoma, Pennsylvania was illegal to wholesale the other day. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Like, I've talked about the Pennsylvania thing forever. I mean, we got plenty of people in our community, including me, that do a lot of deals in Pennsylvania that ain't licensed. And I have legit lawyers signing off my checks for me. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And so again, this whole law thing's so stupid because you can't make any laws outlawing wholesaling real estate. You'd have to ban flipping houses, and then you basically have to ban capitalism to ban wholesaling.
Yep.
Which has never happened in any state. But Oklahoma City right now, one of my favorite markets because everyone thinks it's illegal. It's not illegal. Here's my crazy one. Ready for this? Talk to a lawyer or talk to a title company with a lawyer there, and then have them give you an answer.
Don't talk to the internet.
Don't talk to the internet.
Don't talk to influencers. Just go get the facts. Like, you don't even have to trust what me and Zach are saying. Just go get the information direct.
YouTuber. You know, we're the only YouTuber that says you should just talk to a lawyer at a title company and whatever they tell you, go do it.
And by the way, anybody can handpick a lawyer to get whatever side of the story you want.
50% of lawyers are wrong.
50% of them are. Why? Because they get paid no matter what, as long as they fight the argument, they get paid.
Well, you know, that's my thing. I talked about it on Tuesday. Remember that law? Basically, some lady got cold called. Okay, some lady got cold called in Arizona. All right, and she felt in her heart that it was very illegal that the guy called and offered to buy her property for cash. And she said that breaks TCPA law. And she went to a lawyer, and the lawyer said, "Yeah, what he tried to buy your house for cash? That's a good or service." I've been always telling people like good and service. No. I've talked to my own lawyers and they've said, no, your DNC list doesn't matter for wholesaling. But this lawyer for this lady said, you know what, Rick, give me a $6,000 retainer. We'll go sue the snot out of this guy. You think the guy's influenced? So he gets all his britches and he tries to sue the person. And guess what happens? His lawyer, the wholesaler, his lawyer said, no, you're illegal. You're good. So now we have lawyer number 1 who says it's illegal and lawyer number 2 that says it's illegal. What happens? who determines what's legal or not? A judge, a federal judge. And guess what happened? The federal judge sided in the wholesaler's favor. And so now we can cold call legally. I get really worked up over this because it drives me crazy. But remember when everyone is saying, stop cold calling is illegal, cold calling is illegal. I know people that say, I quit cold calling, it's now illegal. And I've been saying this for years. I said, there's going to be a case in the United States of America where someone's going to sue a wholesaler. And the question is offering to buy somebody's house for cash breaking DNC or not? I said, it's going to happen. I've been saying this for years. And guess what happened 2 months ago? Judge protected us. Now we can cold call and text, no problem.
Shut down entire cold calling business based on.
I know, guys.
I don't think. Like, listen, guys, you got to think for yourself. You can go where the sheep go. That like whatever like clickbait sells you, but like you got to get the facts. By the way, I have lots of talks with attorneys. Not my favorite people to talk to. I had one attorney to try to straighten out one of our properties on a clouded title. Wanted 15 grand up front. I go, it's ridiculous. I didn't pay 15 grand for the property and it was cash flow and fine. I go, screw it. I'll just keep it. And then we wound up hiring a paralegal for $1,500. That cleared it. I can go on and on case. I recently had a Georgia lawyer take 10 grand from us for he says a complicated probate. He couldn't figure it out. Handed it to a paralegal for 2 grand. Got it done and solved. Guys, this just happens all the time. And I've dealt with it's still pending. Right? The problem is it's got a foreclosure on it.
Yeah.
The challenge is, guys, attorneys, what they say is not always factual and it's very biased. And I think it's ridiculous that we get stuck at it. You know how many probates I dealt with when people are like, yeah, it's 10 grand to do a probate. It does not cost 10 grand to do a basic probate.
We have
all the time. I see it. They hold them hostage. They do all this stuff, guys. And I'm just telling you, be careful with like attorneys. There is a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. But I'm telling you, if you ask 10 attorneys, you're going to get 10 different answers. So if I want to go to an attorney and go, hey, can you tell everybody in America wholesaling is legal and there's no problem? I can find that person. I could also get an attorney do the opposite. Like, oh, wholesaling looks like it's entirely illegal. Remember, it's kind of like Republicans and Democrats. They're playing the system so they get paid regardless of the outcome. And you have to understand that. So when I look at a property that I only bought for like 5-6 grand with a clouded title, I go, crap, we've already made 25 grand back in cash flow. Why am I going to give a lawyer 15 grand?
I agree.
Right?
I mean, some people flex cars, like 6-figure cars. We have like 6 figures. They're just money in the courts right now. You know, just in real estate deals, right?
And by that way, we bought
that
one for I think 5 or 6 a clouded title.
Yeah,
waited I think 7 years, and we basically sold it for $175,000. But the attorney just wants to take the cut, and it's like
it's crazy.
I go, what are you going to do for it? I don't know. I got all the superior knowledge up there. I go, really? Do you? Because it seems pretty straightforward to me. And I get a lot of arguments with attorneys. I don't mind paying them. I've paid huge fees. But guys, like, they're wrong all the time. They're playing the legal system. Our government's made it so damn complicated to file a lawsuit. I love people, I'm going to sue you. I go, man, you've never really been through a lawsuit. It's challenging. So
I don't think that's plugged in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, basically, again, just telling you that everyone says everything's illegal. Everything says the lawyer's illegal. It's legal. Just talk to a real life judge. And the judge is literally going to tell you what to do, right? The judge is literally going to say it. So, like I've said before, wholesaling is legal, and I should have a hat. You know, when I go to that event in San Antonio, I'm going to get a hat. I'm going to give it out to everyone for free. It's going to say Zach Ginn was always right, or Zach Ginn was right about everything.
That was a little much.
Zach Ginn was right about everything because
did you see that hat?
Yeah, I'm going to make my own hat. It's going to be black hat. It's going to say Zach Ginn was right about everything because I was right about everything.
Oh my God! For what 3-4 years, people cried on the internet. It's illegal. You can't do this. You can't do it. You can't cold call. You can't do it.
I've been on record.
Not a word from any of these people that like I just don't understand.
Oh, they've all shut up about it. You know. I think we're the only ones talking about that case publicly because I'm the only one that has been screaming. And guess what? If that case went the other way, I would have been destroyed.
I still would have taken my stance though. Like it's either whatever. Listen, the law it's constantly moving. Like we only have so much control with our elected officials and what they're going to do. But guys, listen, you're going to have to outlaw capitalism to get rid of wholesaling. Like I just, until you regulate where everybody has to have a license to sell a house more, you will always have an opportunity to wholesale a house. So don't let any of it like fear you. There's so many ways. Wholesaling was created for a need, for houses that need something other than a realtor to sell it. And it will always be here. People buy houses all the time, have no idea what they're doing. It is a service. Just like you got to have someone take out your trash. That's what a lot of wholesalers do to a point. So you got to understand it.
Number 2, Richmond, Virginia. Another one where everyone says it's illegal, but there's a ton of deals and everything is illegal there. I know a ton of guys and gals that are not licensed that make a lot of money in there, including you and me. So Richmond, Virginia, amazing market. It's always been one of my top markets.
Always been.
And my number 1 wholesaling market, again, I will keep saying this, is South Carolina. Literally any market in South Carolina is chef's kiss.
I thought it was illegal to do it there.
I thought it was illegal. You know, it's the thing. Everyone told me it was illegal in South Carolina. I mean, everyone went to great lengths to tell me South Carolina was illegal. And so what I did, because I'm sometimes just a troll, someone told me on an internet comment, it's illegal wholesale South Carolina. And so because I'm a jerk, like South Carolina is never like an insane big wholesale market for me. The month that wholesaling became illegal in South Carolina, I said, okay, I'm just going to do, I closed 5 deals. I showed all the checks.
I did a lot of deals there.
And I also showed, guess what I showed? I showed my attorney that I closed with. Multiple attorneys. And all my lawyers are saying, hey, here's the thing. The laws in South Carolina are very, very specific. So you can wholesale real estate without a license in the state of South Carolina. Now, their definition of wholesaling is very different. So I'm not going to even say the word wholesale. To make everything legally compliant, I'm going to say this. To assign your equitable interest on your contract to a cash buyer is completely legal in South Carolina.
But a lot of people admit that when they talk about the law.
So that wholesaling, they said wholesaling is this. I think it's so stupid. But assigning they had a whole presser that said wholesaling is illegal, but you can assign your contract to a cash buyer for money.
It's crazy.
I was like, what?
What?
And so I will say this. Let me tell you. So the reason why everyone thinks wholesaling is illegal in South Carolina was South Carolina, I'll let everybody know, last year, they passed a bill to pretty much outlaw capitalism in South Carolina. I'm not joking. They made a law. It said specifically, you can't assign, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. They actually made a law last year. And it was set to be passed, signed by the governor. But guess what? 2 of the greatest men that I have ever seen in the real estate space decided to do something. I kid you not. This is one of the most craziest, most awesome things that have ever happened in the history of wholesaling real estate, that I'm the only person who ever talks about this. Are you ready for it? I am going to make a Hollywood movie about how beautiful this was. I read this, I sometimes cry because just how beautiful it is. It's just, it almost gives me in tears of how beautiful this moment was. But let me tell you right now, okay? Let me go find this. This was a year ago. Let me go find it. Again, this might be the Zach Ginn is always right thing. But let's go try to find it. Let's see. All right, let's go find it. This is worth it to show. Right here. It's one of the most beautiful, beautiful laws I've ever seen. Okay. Happened a year ago. All right, let me show this. Again, everyone was real. Once this, so the law basically stated wholesaling is going to be completely banned. Like every loophole was closed, and it basically would have made capitalism illegal in South Carolina real estate. But guess what? They passed the bill, and then it was about to be signed by the governor. And then everyone made the video before the governor signed the bill. Everyone made a video except for me. Oh, it's over! It's over! It's over! It's over! It's over!
Yep.
And guess what happened in the last minute? Bunch of state senators said, hey, you need to amend this. And they amended the law to make sure wholesaling was legal. Nobody knows about it. This is a big secret. By the way, this is from the state legislators. So let me show you it. Okay. Right here. This absolute most gangster men of all time. Okay. Let's get their names. Tom Davis and Scott Talley. Okay. I will buy them lunch If they want to come to Florida, I will buy them lunch for the rest of their life. Okay. So let me tell you exactly what happened. Senator Davis, so the law is about to be passed to make everything basically illegal. What he basically did was, Senator proposed the following amendment. Wholesaling means having a contractual interest in purchasing residential real estate from a property owner, then marketing the property. Wholesaling does and marketing the property for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Wholesaling does not refer to the assigning or offering to assign a contractual right to purchase real estate. The amendment was adopted. You might be like, Zach, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Okay, let me try to explain this. Okay. So South Carolina did the sneakiest, stupidest thing I've ever heard. They said, we're banning wholesaling. Well, to ban wholesaling, you must define what wholesaling real estate is. So South Carolina, you just said wholesaling is illegal. Mm-hmm. What is wholesaling? Well, the definition of wholesaling is to write up a contract and then sell the property before you even own it. That's not what we do. That's wholesaling and that's illegal. And so Senator Davis said, okay, can we make a difference? Okay, wholesaling, okay, so your definition of wholesaling is different than assigning a contract. And it passed the amendment. So just letting you know, they define wholesaling as a completely different thing. They made wholesaling like a fake thing. Like writing a contract and selling the house, that's not a thing. That's not a real thing, by the way. So Senator Davis made sure to write an amendment to save the wholesaling industry. And he basically said wholesaling does not refer to the assigning or offering to assign a contractual right to purchase residential real estate. I mean, this is crazy, right?
I mean, there was like,
and by the way, if you don't believe
20
me,
hours of videos on this, and no, we're the only one that kind of show this.
By the way, that's the amendment, LC 4754HB. Like you can, I mean,
you can look it up. Anybody can look it up, but it omit it because it does not fit somebody's narrative. And I don't understand. Like, listen, there's a lot of negative like legislation against wholesaling. I'm not the first to deny it, but like, you can't just constantly push it's terrible. You can't do it. You can't do it. And then don't give the final version of the bill with the amendments, because that's what a good debate is. Like the people stand up, and these guys stood up and
no, they just said, hey, this is really confusing. Can we just make sure to let you know that it is legal to assign a contract? And it's also legal to offer to assign your contractual right. They just wanted to make sure. And then Senator Davis explained the amendment, and the amendment was adopted. And also, if you want to look at what the G. Tom also wrote, I have it on here too. But his quote was, let's see here. Wholesaling does not refer to, okay. He added an extra line. Oh yeah, then Senator Scott Talley added an extra line protecting advertising your assignment. And it basically stated this. So his amendments, Scott Talley's amendment also said advertising and marketing of real property is to be distinguished from the advertising. Remember, the law is about advertising a property. The advertising and marketing of real property is to be distinguished from the advertising and marketing of a contractual position in a sales agreement. An advertisement that markets a contractual position to acquire real property from a person with either equitable or legal title and does not imply, suggest, or purport to sell, advertise, or market the real property is permissible. You might be like, oh, what does that mean? So let's just throw this sucker into ChatGPT. If we want to play lawyer, throw that sucker into ChatGPT, because you guys think that I'm like biased or something. Okay. So let's look at ChatGPT just because you think I'm all biased. Okay. So it's saying there's a distinction marketing the property itself and marketing a contract. So again, it's saying if you market a contract available versus marketing a 3-2 available. That's just how you get around the law. And it'll give you compliant ads and everything.
And so you should be doing that anyways.
You should be doing that anyways. I've always said this since the beginning. You're selling a contract. You ain't going out here and selling a property. So yeah, assignments are legal. I mean, guys.
Yeah, we're not going to go state by state here.
No, we're not going to state by state, but I'm just telling you this. Okay. Winston says, I'm South Carolina, business as usual, got another signed contract today. Winston, we're going to have great fun at federal prison together, apparently. That's what everyone tells us. But like, guys, come on. Okay. That's it. Drives me crazy. And so, guys, South Carolina, one of the best markets, because nobody literally the only place in the entire internet that someone's going to tell you about this is right here, you and I.
Oh, it's a fact. It's like we're not spinning it. I'm telling you, I'm literally reading the law, the bill, the actual thing, because these things are always moving. When people go, oh my God, there's a bill coming out on this. Yeah, you should be aware. And if you're in that state, you should be active and voice your opinion, but understand.
Oh, yeah. If I wanted to make money, by the way, like if we were greedy, like we just wanted to make all the money off of you, first we'd sell you a $7,000 course. Number two, what we would do is we'd tell you that wholesaling real estate is terrible and illegal. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then we'd go make our own real estate brokerage. Then we'd make you spend $6,000 to go join a real estate brokerage because we already took $5,000 from your course. And then I'm going to make you pay me 2% of all your assignment fees because I'm your broker. Mm-hmm. And you would also have to pay $1,000 a year on top of that just to keep on my brokerage. That's what I would do. FYI, like if I had to figure out how to squeeze the most money out of you, I'd sell you a course and then I'd make you spend tens of thousands of dollars to go join my brokerage, and then force you to give a cut of your assignment fee to me for being your broker. And then I'd make you get all this insurance so I don't have to worry about it, right? And so that's where I'm kind of seeing where people are going in the wholesaling space. It's not really, I don't know anyone that's doing this right now, but I'm telling you, it's probably going to happen in the future. Wholesaling is illegal. Join my brokerage and give me a bunch of money, but also buy my course, and then pay me money every single month because
I'll show you how to do it legally.
Yeah. So
if they can show you how to do it legally, you can do it legally.
You got to remember this. Do you know how you sell things? You sell things there's three angles to sell something in the entire world. It's from a guy that sells a lot of stuff. You sell things either with emotion, logic, or fear. Those are the three simple ways you sell something. Now, how do I sell a motivated seller? Usually through emotion, because it's an emotional decision. If you want logic, you go with the realtor, right?
Yep.
Okay, X Leads is logic. X Leads is $97 a month. It beats every other wholesaling software. It's logical. How do I sell with fear? Okay. Buy my wholesaling course or you're going to be broke and terrible your entire life. I can't sell off of logic. I can't sell off, you can do some emotion.
Definitely emotion.
Okay, well, wholesaling is about to become illegal. You have no option except for to give me money. That's fear. So that's just basic 1, 2, 3 ways to go sell stuff, right? And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to get emotional. I'm not saying this just to rile people up. I'm just telling you the truth. Again, I have no course to sell you. I have no dog in this fight. Okay? I would love for you to be forced to be a realtor so you go buy X Leads so you can get MLS access. That'd be great, right? And trust me, it drives me crazy. But guys, I'm telling you right now, wholesaling real estate is here to stay. Stop going crazy. Stop thinking like the whole world's going to be gone. I teach wholesaling for free. Go there, go to wholesaling.com and go from there. So, yeah. Thiago says, I'm in LA. Should I start my backyard? Do not do that. Pound for pound rankings. Paulie says, Zach in the gym. I'm in the gym. Flex. Show everyone where I got my biceps from.
They're right there.
Right here. Double bicep.
Come on, man.
Yeah. You see?
What pound for pound? What?
Like we're doing pound for pound rankings like UFC.
Oh yeah. Well,
it's kind of funny.
I don't think everyone show their weight cards, but
oh Lord. Also, I have a fun announcement. Okay. So is why we actually have a special thing I want to announce right now too. So I've been doing a lot of announcements lately, but I'm pretty excited about this. Okay. So on Monday on the Flip Work channel, the Zach Ginn channel, on 12 other different YouTube channels. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I have compiled the Avengers of Wholesaling Real Estate. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Okay. It's the first time you're ever going to hear this. I found, because I have a very good network, I found every wholesaler under the age of 30 years old that has made over $1 million in assignment fees. And what we're going to do is on Monday at 8 p.m., we are going to go live and we're going to do a new podcast every month, once a month. We're calling it New School Wholesaling because everyone teaches old school. We're teaching new school. And
guess I'm out.
I guess you're out. But it's going to be a group of about 11 to 12 wholesalers that have all made over $1 million verified in assignment fees that are under the age of 30.
There a bench press minimum at this club?
No bench press minimum. But let me know, guys, if that's something you're interested in. But we're going to have, and there's no selling. We're all just going to be talking about exactly how we made over $1 million under 30 years old and how everyone in here can do it too. Now, it's really cool to go through wholesaling real estate from a younger person's perspective, because the way that somebody who just made $1 million, right? Somebody who just made $1 million at 22 years old, the way that they look at wholesaling real estate is going to be something that's completely relatable compared to somebody who got started when they're 40 or 50, right? And so I want to do something for the new generation of wholesalers that just keep watching people that are older than them having success. And like, hey, it'd be cool if I can bring people just like them, just as young as them, having an insane amount of success. And no one's been able to assemble these people together. And the cool part is we're going to do that. So we're going to do it every first of the month, and it's going to be really cool. So usually I'm just going to post it on the Ginn channel. But for this one, I'm going to post the first one on the Flipler and Ginn channels.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be once a month on all of our channels. We're going to go live. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It's going to be a big secret.
Ooh.
But pretty much every single person who's made over $1 million in the summit fees under the age of 30 are going to be on there. And they're all just going to spit free game. And some people you don't really ever see on YouTube. It's going to be really, really cool. So that's going to be going 8 o'clock on Monday. We're going to go live. It's called New School Wholesaling. And I'm pretty excited about it. And it's just a new perspective on wholesaling real estate from people that are extremely young and extremely successful. And it's going to be really cool. And I think the next generation is going to love it. And then even if you're like 6 years old, I think it's really cool to watch someone like that too, just so you understand it.
Yeah, it'd be fun, exciting. I'll have to watch it.
Lord. But yeah, pretty cool. I asked everyone over 40 and they all blocked me on Instagram. So right. Hey. So basically that's what we got to do. So I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, so I'll see everybody Monday. So again, if you want to learn wholesaling real estate, go to freewholesaling.com, my free real estate wholesaling course, and I will see you soon. This is Ginn signing out.
Rick and signing